Hello everybody, welcome. It's me John, aka Nosy, and I'm here for my video response to the questions asked by Chris and Tim, Rodimus Mana. So I'm going to get straight on into this. Great questions, and so let's do it, shall we? Question number one is, besides obviously the Transformers, what makes TFNation special for you? Um, well, what can I say? I think majority of people will probably mirror my response because it is something that everybody enjoys the most, and it's the people. It's the people. It's the friendships I've made over the years. It's catching up with people I haven't seen for an entire year. That is what I look forward to all the time, every time I go, is catching up with people that I've made friends with over the years. And also making new friendships, any first timers or people I've never actually properly met before. Things of that nature. So the people is definitely what the main thing that I really enjoy besides the Transformers. And also, it's just nice to be, it's just nice to relax and not think about work and other things that are maybe on my mind at the time. It's just a nice distraction, and we're all there for a common interest and multiple interests as well, not just Transformers. And it's just great as well to also, what I love about TFNation is that you get to, sometimes the guests will be chilling out in the bar with us. So it's nice that you can just be chilling in the bar and you can have a nice conversation, or with the guests as well as they're relaxing after their day doing autograph signings and such. So that's also another thing that I really like about it, because you don't get to see that as much in other conventions. That's what makes TFNation pretty special in that regard. Question number two is, will you be checking out the Forge? Will I be checking out the Forge? Almost certainly. I mean, last year they did a great decision, made the great decision of, instead of making the Forge a separate room entirely, last year they actually integrated the Forge with the main artist alley and within the actual main room, dealer room area. So that was actually really good. I don't know whether it's going to be like that. I don't know if the layout's going to be similar this year or not. But a lot of people thought that was a really good idea, because when you put stuff in alternative rooms, yes, people will probably go and check it out, but there's going to be less foot traffic through the door, because people aren't really going to think about it. They're just going to go to the main room, the dealer room. They're going to go around the main artists of honor, like the main comic book artists and such. They're going to visit all those people, but the people that are there for the Forge, they're probably not going to get as much interest, because they're in an alternative panel, or in alternative room. So people's thought process are going to be like, oh, buy toys, get me autographs, or whatever, and then go back to the bar, or go back to the hotel room to chill out for a bit, or go for something to eat. That is usually what some people's mindsets. So, so integrating the Forge into the main room was a great decision on their part. So I will almost certainly be checking out the Forge. I always like to check out the artists there, and and see what's about. So I almost certainly will be. Question number three, then, that they asked is basically, can I think of anything that could be improved in regards to TFNation for a future event? Is there anything that I've that they could improve on. To be honest with you, I really can't think of anything for this question because I think the event itself is perfect on its own. I think the only thing I would say is prices of things, and I understand the reasoning for the prices of the tickets gone up. I understand the reason process for it because the TFNation crew were very open about this when the price changes came in after the whole debacle of the COVID thing where everything was shut down and the TFN crew were struggling to keep going, and it was unlikely that it almost never happened. Bringing it back as a physical event they did the the TFNation almost didn't come back for a physical event because because they had no revenue for 2 years because of everything being shut down. So in order to keep it going, they really had to kind of think about their obviously they had to think about things. So I understand excuse me, I understand why for that reason, because of COVID and no revenue was going through. There wasn't any ticket sales or anything like that. There was no money going through whatsoever in order to book guests and things like that. There was none of that. So when that stuff goes, it's very difficult to keep things on track. And I understand the price increase for the tickets and everything. I understand for that reason why they did it. But that has to probably be the only thing I can think of. Is it would be nice. It would be nice if they would maybe if they did reduce the ticket prices a little bit. But it is getting quite expensive. That has been quite a common conversation between people over the past couple of years, where some people generally can't afford to do an entire weekend, or they pick and choose the days that they're more interested in. Which that's the great thing about the whole ticket system, is that you can pick and choose. You don't have to. You don't buy an entire weekend ticket. So that you've got no choice but to go along to whatever's been scheduled. They don't do weekend tickets like the full weekend with so you pay. So for example, you pay so amount for the entire 3 days. That kind of thing. They don't do that. So everything is separate. So the Friday's a separate ticket, Saturday Club Con's a separate ticket as well. And also Sunday. So they've done it that way in that structure, so you can pick and choose. You can pick and choose what you're doing, or the days that you're willing to pay the money for, which I think is a good idea on their part. But it is getting quite expensive. I mean, this year's prices for tickets wasn't too bad. But once you add it all up, so for me, for example, I always opt to do the 3 days. I always pay for a Friday ticket. I always get the Club Con as well as the Saturday and the Sunday because I like to go and check out any sort of programming that's going on the Friday, because Friday is an official day. Even though the dealer room isn't open, but yeah, it is still an official day for more community-based panels and alternative programming and things like that. So sometimes there is some stuff that I might be interested in checking out. So it's a long. This is a long answer, but I would say that would probably be one thing. It would be nice if they could maybe reduce the price of the tickets, at some point down the line. But I don't think that's going to happen, and I understand the reason why they probably won't reduce the tickets too much. And also, it generally also depends on the kind of the talent as well, the voice actors they get, because whenever they get a voice actor, the price of the tickets, depending of how high profile the voice actor is as well, not just voice actors but the guest in general. However high profile that guest is, the ticket prices are going to reflect on that because of, all the stuff that goes with that, which is understandable. But that's the only thing I can really think of off the top of my head that would be nice to be improved in due course. But it's a subject thing when it comes to the type of talent that they get, voice actor wise. But the actual event itself, I cannot think of anything to change because the event itself is fantastic. It's really well run. The people behind the scenes are really professional and know what they're doing. They live and breathe this thing. So I can't think of anything to improve the event itself. I think the event is great. I think they've done a good job with getting human traffic through the dealer room and trying to stop the whole issue of overcrowded space, which I think is a really good thing that they've thought of that. And everything's been thought of really well. So there we go. Question number 4 then. Besides Stan Bush, because obviously he's already been to TFNation, what other musicians that have worked on something Transformers would you like to see at a future TFNation? Well, I've asked this. I think I've answered this question a few times before. I think I've asked this question before anyway, to be honest. But obviously, I'd love to see Stan Bush come back, but of course, this is asking, except for him. I would love to see Weird Al. That would be a very tall order. But I know Weird Al, he only did one song for the Transformers the movie, Dare to Be Stupid. I understand it was only one song for Weird Al that was used, but yet you could still incorporate a full performance of Weird Al because he does parody stuff of popular songs, and it would be a good laugh of just like him doing his thing. So Weird Al would be a great one. Obviously Vince DiCola would be another one, and Cybertronic Spree would be a good shout as well. I know obviously they're quite a big band. I think they're a 5-piece band, so it's a bit of a tall order for them to really get a band of that size through with all their gear and all that kind of stuff. But they're probably other musicians that I would love, possibly to come to a future TFNation. Question number 5 is asking, would you like to see anything else added to the ClubCon? Now, I think I've asked this question before in the past, and I've answered it as well, because obviously I'm not the only person that does question videos. Well, yeah, it's more, yeah, but anyway, but no, this ClubCon, I have mentioned in the past, I would love it if they would bring back I've no idea what they're doing this year. I have absolutely no idea whatsoever about how the ClubCon's going to pan out, obviously, until we're there. Well, I've got no idea what the ClubCon is going, how it's going to pan out with the ClubCon this year. But last year Last year they brought back the voice actor script reading because it was a popular demand. They didn't do it for a little bit, at least a couple years, where they just did not do the script reading, and that was an element that I missed when it came to the ClubCon, because I've always enjoyed the script readings, because you get in the talent there, and it's a really wacky, weird little script that gets written, and it's a good laugh. And that is one of the highlights for ClubCon that I really like, is seeing and experiencing those voice actors do what they do best, being acting and voice acting, recreating the characters that they're known for, alongside some fans, other people that are there that can do some voicing for them as well. And it's just a great experience. So they brought that back. So that's something that I did mention in the past. So I can't think of anything else. I can't think of anything else that could be added. I mean, they pretty much have everything covered. They pretty much everything covered. The only thing I could think of, but I don't know if anybody would really bother with it, because karaoke is kind of one of those things. People like it, people don't. People aren't interested, some people are. But it would be pretty cool to have something on at ClubCon, like probably right near the end, like the last, like maybe near the end of something or whatever, where basically they just have like a blast out for about half an hour or so, 45 minutes. And basically they just like have like a PA system, or even if anybody wants to get up on the stage and do a bit of karaoke. I know it's a bit of a tall order, because it means they have to get they'll have to get a karaoke machine, and I know some people don't really like that thing, but it would be just a bit of fun to just kind of sing along to some Transformers songs, or songs from anything whatever, and just have a good rock out and have a good sing out. That would be a good thing to maybe add to the ClubCon. If I know people would be interested in that. Some people would quite happily get up and sing a song. Especially after they've had a few jars or a few drinks. But I think, but it's also just kind of the experience, just kind of like everybody kind of huddled together, having a good laugh and having a sing song. I think that might be a good element to probably add to ClubCon, because that's what ClubCon's all about. It's basically just like, it's the end of the first day of the convention. It's at the very end, and everyone's winding down. Everyone's had a few drinks, and well, not everyone, but you know what I mean. Most people have had a few drinks, and it's just a bit of fun to just let your hair down. But that's all I can really think of off the top of my head. But I think ClubCon is pretty well covered, though. And there we have it. Thank you very much. That is the questions that Chris and Tim asked, Rodimus Minor, and so on. So thank you very much indeed for watching, and thank you to Chris and Tim for the great video. Great questions, and take care of yourselves. I will be coming back with another video very soon, because obviously Chris and Tim, they did a video talking about your schedule, your TFN schedule, so I might do another video probably at the weekend for that. So thank you very much for watching. Take care of yourselves. If you're going to TFNation, please come and say hello if you recognise me. If you don't know, if you've never met me before, or if you're going for the first time, be great to see you. But take care, everybody. Thank you for watching, and by all means, check out to the description the video that I did of the questions, my own questions. So feel free if anybody wishes to do a response to mine. It's nice to just get a bit of a not community, but it'd be nice to kind of get a little bit of buzz going through, get some responses going for everybody involved. I mean, Tony's done one, Chris and Tim have done videos, and I've done one. So, it'd be nice to kind of like get some responses as well, or even if you want to make your own questions video, it'd be great. It's just getting some word of mouth out there and channeling the excitement. But anyway, thank you very much. Take care. See you soon.